Hey guys, this is Pierre from Can-Am SpyderAccessories.com. In this short video, I'm going to be showing you the installation of this little beauty. It's the dual USB charger for your Can-Am Spyder. As you can see behind me, we're ready to go ahead with our little production. That beautiful red Spyder right here, it belongs to our friend Pierre Dufour. I want to say a big shout out and thank you very much for letting us borrow your Spyder for the installation of the dual USB charger. A little information for you as we get this project started. Well, we're going to be hooking this baby up on accessories. So we want power when we turn on the key. We don't want full-time power because there's actually a blue Dell light here. So we don't want to work on your battery or drain your battery by any means. So power accessories. Apart from that, it's about a 45-minute project. I say that you'll have time in 45 minutes to have your friends over, have a beverage. It's low on the difficulty chart. It takes a little patience. You're also going to be removing 3 panels and part of the dash. So that's where a lot of the work goes in, taking off that mirror, taking off those pieces, and then a little patience to put it back together. You're going to need some good old-fashioned electrical tape. You're going to need a pair of cutters. You're going to need one utility knife. You're going to need a flathead screwdriver. 2 torque bits, one 30 and the other one 25. You're also going to need the screwdriver, or as I'm using, an electrical screwdriver. You're also going to need some gauge 16 wire, 2 different colors. I'm using white and brown, about 36 inches long each of them. Of course, you're going to need your dual USB charger. And you're going to need some of these small connectors. This is a Y junction connector. You're going to need 2 of those. And you're also going to need 2 of these small connectors that will go underneath the USB charger, so you can put in your 16 gauge wire right there. One of the first things I like to do is give you my non-credentials. Now, this is the part where I actually tell you I'm not a mechanic, I'm not an electrician, I'm having a lot of fun. I like to take up a couple of challenges, and this is a challenge for me. So these are my little tricks and tips, but I'm by no means an expert, and I don't pretend to be. So I'm going to take my Torque 30 bit here, and we're just going to remove this side mirror because we're going to be working on the right-hand side of the bike. There are just 2 screws that are holding the wind deflector. So what just happened is that when I lifted up the mirror and pulled it towards me and I tapped on it twice actually, the mirror came off really nice, but I was a little too fast to pull on the mirror, and part of there's a junction in the wire, and part of the wire actually stayed inside. So as we remove this panel here on the side, I'll be able to use a long pair of nose pliers, long nose wire pliers, and I'll be able to get that out. To be able to remove the side panel, there are going to be 5 screws and 1 push pin to take out. So this is going to be the push pin here. Take this one out, put that in the front trunk so we don't lose it. And now we're going to be able to remove this panel here. The first screw that you're going to need to remove is going to be this one here right next to the mirror. It's a Torque 30. You're going to have 3 screws to remove where the mirror was. 1, 2, 3. And you also have one right underneath the seat in the center right here. We're going to need to take out the side panel. Now, what's holding this panel down? No screws, only plastic pins in little rubber holes. There were 3 places where you had plastic pins in the rubber. 1, 2, and 3 down here. And the panel was clipped behind here and here. So these are the places you got to be careful. So you unhook the panel here, unhook here, put your hand as close to that hole as possible. Do the same thing here and the same thing down here, and go one at a time to pull it out. When you're going to push it back, I highly recommend you put a little bit of grease here, there, and there as well, so it keeps the rubber moist and they don't break and they don't crack. As we're going to be pulling on that side panel, now these 2, they look like screws, but they're actually push pins as well. So you don't need to unscrew these. You just need to put your hand right close behind it as you pull, so all the pressure is right there. Just as promised, long nose pliers, and we're going to go get that wire. Time to take out the dash. So what we're going to do now is we're going to remove 4 screws with the T25 torque bit. So we got 1, we got 2, we got 3, and we have 4 to take out. Now that we've removed the 4 screws that were holding down the dashboard, we're going to need to pull on it a little bit so we can expose the wires on the right hand side. To be able to do this, you're going to need to take the handlebars and do like you're sitting on the bike and going to take a sharp right turn. So you're going to cramp it all the way to the right. That will allow you more room to be able to maneuver and get that dash out. This is the place where we're going to be hooking up and doing our connections. So you're going to be pulling on these wires just to disconnect them so we can work with a little bit more maneuver. So they just pull right out just like that, and we're going to be able to work on these wires right now. If you want to give yourself a little bit more room, you can just go ahead and remove the whole dash. You're going to have the same wires on the other side. Just go ahead and disconnect them and pull out the dash. I decided to go with a pair of scissors instead of the utility knife. I just find that it's a safer avenue, making sure that we don't cut into those electrical wires and we have problems later on. So now that we've exposed our wires, we're going to be working with 2 of them here. So in the set of 3, the one that's all by itself, we're going to leave that one alone. And we're going to be working on these 3 wires here. We're actually going to be using, there's a black one with purple. That's going to be our negative. And then we're going to be using the orange with the red for our positive. So before we go ahead and put everything back together and we start putting electrical tape, we just want to make sure that everything is working. So as you can see, I've just turned on the dashboard, so that's going to give me my accessories power. I've put the positive to the positive on the back of the USB charger, and I got my negative here, and as I'm touching, you can see that this baby is lighting up right now. So I do have my power, everything is good. I can now go ahead and seal everything and put everything back, and then we're going to work on the center hole where this USB charger is going to go. So now that the electrical tape part is done, we got to fish that wire through the back of the dash and outside where the mirror is, so we can then channel it alongside the bike and near the steering column, so we can pop it out where the USB charger is going to go. When I said that we're going to fish the wire through the back of the dash and through the hole where the mirror is and the wire is, your first instinct is going to be to come through here. But if we go through this one, it's going to be actually a much easier way of getting things done. We're going to be using a pair of long nose pliers that we're actually going to be inserting in the hole here, and we're actually going to be able to see them at the back here, and we're just going to be able to clamp down on the wire and pull it through. At this stage, we're simply going to put the dashboard back. At this time, we're going to be fishing the wire. You want to go on the left-hand side of that rubber hole that you have there. Not on the right-hand side, but on the left-hand side. You want to fish that through. You can see here the way it goes along the side of the Can-Am Spyder and then about 6 inches inside. No tools needed to be able to do this. The wire is stiff enough. You can just fish it hand to hand and then just pull it right through. We're going to need to cut out a template. We can get just a little piece of white cardboard, thin cardboard, like the size of a packet of cigarette. And then you can go ahead and do 21 by 29 millimeters. That's 21 by 29 millimeters. So you want to get that shape, that rectangular shape in there, and then we'll just go ahead and cut that out. Now that the template has been cut out, we're going to fix it. We're going to center it. We're just going to use a piece of regular tape. Center that template right in the middle. And once that's done, you're going to take a marker and you're going to mark the outline of that template. I know it's going to be black on black, but even though it's black on black, you're still going to be able to see the outline. And then we'll go ahead and use a utility knife and cut the hole out. All right, so we're almost there. Now the part that's left to be done is that we have to fish the wire through the hole where the dual USB charger is going to be. Once we've done that, then we're going to be able to hook it up. It's very simple. We're going to need your pliers again. You're going to need to skin those wires and simply hook them up with the connectors to the back of the USB charger. Once it's time to put it back in, now there's a little technique to putting the USB charger in. You have to put it on an angle, so you put down one side and the other side is going to click once, click twice, then you know it's a perfect fit. Guys, my name is Pierre and you've been watching Can-Am SpyderAccessories.com.